Howdy do everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be changing out the blades on my mower deck. I may have forgotten that I needed you guys to come along with me. So I've already pulled the deck. But I'll at least show you how to put the deck back on. This is my very large Husqvarna deck. Unless you have well manicured lawns, I suggest not getting a deck this big because I get hung up on everything. When you get a close up, you'll see just how beat up this deck is because of how hard it gets used. Well, let's get to it. Let's get to work. Okay, so there's one bolt that retains the blades. We can either use this with a nut driver on it, or we can use one of these. Both should work well. You might struggle with this a little bit because they might get really stuck on, especially if they've been on there quite a while, and these ones have been. As you can see, my blades don't look anything near the same. I'll do a comparison right before I finish switching these out, show you what a good blade looks like and what the bad blades look like. Alright, meanwhile, let's put me in fast forward and I'll take off all those bolts. Like I said, I was going to show you the difference between the two blades. Now, how's this for a comparison? So, as you can see, this black blade back here is the fresh new one. Still got the paint on it. Look at this blade. This has been on there so long. It's chewed off almost completely around here. These wings that are meant to throw up the leaf litter, get the cyclone really moving on there, completely gone. And I think all but one of them has these pretty much entirely missing on the mower. I mean, look at that. These are only probably, 7 years old. Yeah, I used the heck out of this mower. Alright, now I guess we'll just take a wire brush, clean off the tops of those spindles, kind of get the gunk off of them. And while we're at it, I might just scrape out the inside of the mower deck, get all this built up grass and junk in there. You can see the white stuff's what appears to be mold, because the last time I mowed it was a little bit wet, which was 3-4 weeks ago. So it sat and it started to mold a little bit. No big deal. I'll clean off everything under here and then we'll get everything reassembled, and then I'll show you how to put this mower deck back up underneath of this giant mower. Alright, again, let's put me in fast forward because nobody wants to sit here and watch me for an hour struggle with some bolts. the last segment may have been muted, but I'll just give you the rundown of what I said. Basically, I said be careful if you're pulling your mower around with a lift like that, a floor jack. They make a fancy tractor lift that wraps around the tires and makes it all stable and all that stuff. I don't have that. I don't have the $100 spare right now, so I use my floor jack. So please, if you do it like I'm doing, be very, very careful, okay? I don't want anybody getting hurt. Now, I have limited space, so I had to pull it all up and move the deck to one side. Now I'm going to push this deck underneath of the tractor. While I have this out, let's see if I have any grease for these. Where's my grease gun? Alright, on this deck I have 3 Zerk fittings for the 3 spindles here. If you grease them well, they should last you a long time. This deck is 8 years old. So, you guys blade work? Not bad, man. Not bad at all. I don't know why, but for some reason, these don't fit on these guns, so I have to push it in. Normally you get these grease guns, they lock onto the Zerk things. This one, for whatever reason, does not do that. Sometimes my grease gun gets stuck. Not really, I don't have grease. Alright, there. That did the trick. We got all locked and pulled back. Alright. Now when you're working with grease, it's best to wear some nitro gloves. These blue gloves. Sometimes they're black, but they hold up best to stuff like grease. I'm going to go ahead and grease my pivots for my steering. Probably won't be able to see this one over here, but there's one on the both sides of my front steering. This is just good maintenance for every spring, by the way. Should Zerk all your fittings. Here we go. Behind both of these tires, there's one to grease this hub. Bumps ought to do it. I'm going to check them back ones again. Huh? There really should be a Zerk fitting there. Or greasing up those back tires as well. 1, 2 bumps. Nothing there. Alright. Nothing to grease these rear hubs. Sounds kind of odd, but okay. Now I'm going to grab a paper towel if I find one. And I'm going to wipe off all the excess grease. No paper towels, so I'm going to use a shirt towel.
Good way to reuse your old shirts. Cut them up into about 6-inch squares so you can use them for towels, for wiping off glue and grease and stuff.
Alright. Alright,
your nipples. Nobody likes dirty nipples, right? Now, I think I should probably come over here and show you a big, nice picture of what you look like. Because if you've never done this before, and there's nothing wrong with not having done this before, it's just nice to be able to see what the hell somebody's talking about sometimes, isn't it? Okay. All the grease is wiped up for the most part. It is grease. It doesn't ever actually go away. Really good. So you see this guy here? There is just a little ball bearing. So when you force that nozzle over the top and you apply pressure with the grease gun, it forces the grease into that little ball bearing right there. It's very hard to see. It's very, very small. But that's what a Zerk fitting is. So if your car, your truck, your lawnmower, you see any of those on anything, that's what they're for. They're for you to grab one of those grease guns and you push it over the top of it, and generally that nozzle kind of locks into place a bit, and then you give her 1 to 2 pumps, maybe 3 or 4 if it's a really major part, and then yeah, forces grease in there and greases the little bearings that are in there. So those 3 spots, that's actually where I was cleaning off all the gunk earlier. So, all right, now use my brute strength and I'm going to push this under here. I never understood why people wanted those mower decks from that green company for driving over the top of. Now I understand. You can just unlock it and drive over the top. The fun part is getting this part in. Oh yeah. These here, forward. Okay? Otherwise you're not going to be able to get underneath of there. Alright. And now I got to sort of push this back. Hope I don't knock it down. Over here to the other side. Pull that wheel around. Most part, I think I pulled it all back under. Woohoo! Now, fun part. I'm gonna sweep out most of this stuff out of my way. Let's see. Where did my broom go? This should have been mostly from that top deck. Okay. So I have... This deck is held into place with these washers and these fancy locking cotter pins. I'm going to get you into position here and we're going to install some of these. Alright, this is going to be fun here because working in really tight space. I already had to pull the deck back towards me just so you weren't going all over the place when I did this. But this lifter here goes on the back. See this nub? There's just a little hole on the side, goes through. You put a washer and this locking pin. Okay, and that locks that one in place. Now, you can see there's this other lift arm here. That one goes up. I may not be able to see it. Let's see. Goes up here. Let's see. And it's short. I can feel it. I can't see it. So we're going to go move the deck forward. I'll wake this up again, so sorry if you hear clicking noises. Still not quite there yet. Nub is right here. That's where I'm trying to get that to. Just pull the deck forward a little bit more. There you go. That lifter there goes on there. It gets another cotter pin. Oops, sorry about that. Another locking pin just like the other one. I can't see. It's really fun trying to do. With one hand, hold the camera enough that you can see. There we go. With my other hand, pull that into place. Go. So right here, you got this. You see how that arm moved that wheel there? Releases tension on the belt. Okay. So that belt's got to go back up underneath of there, under that drive spindle. That's what I'm going to do next, before I get too far along. Okay. Goes right onto there. Right. Tight. Alright, now it's going to help pull that on there. I'll have to check and make sure that that stays where I need it to, though. Now. Be careful not to put appendages underneath those. All right. Leave that there. I'm going to repeat exactly what I did over there, over here. The exact same two mechanisms on that side that I just installed on this side. The deck needs to go back. So I put the rear lifter on. Forward lifter needs some moving so I can get that on. Okay, it's in place. And again, get some washer and a pin. Locking pins can be a bit of a bear to get on and off, so I have to fight with this one. There it goes. Now, this goes down there. I think if I let the tractor down with the jack in front, it'll probably do what I need to, which is go to the back. So let's see. Down she comes. Let me see if I can align it. Let it down. top of it needed to go to the other side. So it needed to go where you are. Okay.
Now, put that bar in place. Me with a flat tire. Interesting. All right. Where did I set the last two? Put them in my pocket. Uh-oh. Go me. It appears that I set down my washer and pin. Now I have some looking to do. You've been sitting right here. One moment, please. Ah, here it is. Just fell on the ground. This is why you should always get a parts tray or container so you don't lose stuff. Be better than me. Don't lose stuff. Okay. Alright, and that's that. It's all set. Now all the parts should work. Let's see. The deck should come up when I raise it. Alright, it's off the ground. Alright, and just like that we're done. Except for I'm not done. I have lots and lots more work to do. Time to mow. Let's see if we can get this old pig started. Here we go. Oh yeah!